Welcome back to the channel, everyone, and another comic book recap and review. Usually, comic book fans are not very welcoming to retconning a character's origin story. However, today's main topic of conversation may be an example of when radically changing who a character is, how they look, and where they came from was the best decision an artist could make. Lobo, in his current form, is an extremely popular figure in the DC universe, appearing not only in comics but also in the Justice League and Superman animated series and in video games. The Lobo we all know and love did not start out that way. In fact, he was totally unrecognizable to his current day form. His name was not even revealed in his first ever appearance, which was in 1983's The Omega Men #3, a Green Lantern spin-off run that lasted only about 38 issues. Never heard of the Omega Men? That's okay. To be completely honest, after reading the first 5 issues of the series, I can understand why it did not last. The series was created by Mark Wolfman and Joe Stanton, with this particular issue in Lobo's creation credited to Roger Slifer and Keith Giffen. The writing and narratives offered in the Omega Men are dense, and by that I mean there are attempts at combining Shakespearean English with modern-day English with sci-fi terminology. As an adult, I found that the words did not flow very well, and I can only imagine a kid in the early 80s reading it and thinking, this is just way too much work to enjoy a comic book. There are elements of medievalism, of dystopian futures, of science fiction, of magic, and a lot of religious commentary, especially against traditional faiths in favor of individualism. Sound like a comic book that would get your attention as a young person? For me, no. I did not enjoy this one very much. It was actually a struggle to get through just to review it. The basic story is this. The Omega Men are a ragtag group of various alien species led by Primus, who, in this issue, is separated from most of his team, leaving his wife Kalista, a powerful telepath, in charge. Their main enemy, the Citadel, who control every planet in the galaxy except for one, Euphorix, which is covered by an impenetrable force field and also happens to be the homeworld of Kalista, is the only thing standing in the Citadel's way of total conquest. Now, the Citadel's attempts to blow up the force field are futile until Harry Hokum, an Earthling, appears to the leader of the Citadel with a proposition. He will give them a strategy to bypass the defenses of Euphorix, and in return, he will become the #1 advisor to the Citadel leader. The book is littered with sexuality, as well as stereotypical personalities that often mutter to themselves about being not accepted. And until you get to the actual appearance of our main topic of discussion today, Lobo, the narrative revolves around relationships, leadership struggles, religious philosophy, and there are so many characters involved it just becomes a muddled mess. However, one morning, Kalista is awakened from her sleep by a special Citadel news report. And of course, she's naked. The report details how Euphorix has been conquered, and Kalista cannot believe it. She calls all available Omega Men to her ship to respond to the crisis. However, only about half of them heed her call, because the other half want a change in leadership or lack the conviction to fight. Against the advice of her pilot, they enter hyperspace. When they emerge out of hyperspace at Euphorix, they partially materialize inside an asteroid, crippling their ship. Kalista sends out a crew member to inspect the damage, and he discovers some sort of organic pod attached to the hull. As he inspects it, it opens up and he is thrown back. 2 figures emerge. One called Bedlam, looking like a cross between a hobo and a serial killer. The other, never named, is a pale-skinned man with bluish-blackish hair wearing a purple and orange leotard. Yes, this is the first appearance of Lobo, looking more like Lionel from the Thundercats than the Lobo that we know. I told you, some retcons are a good thing. Now, he's never given a backstory. He's merely a bounty hunter and killer who, along with his partner, systematically go through the ship until Lobo comes face to face with Kalista. Unlike the Lobo that we know, this Lobo is no match for her power, but he boasts about his adherence to researching his quarries, and he's brought along with him creatures that siphon off power, which attach themselves to Kalista and drain her energy. Unconscious and now prone, Lobo hangs Kalista's body from his space cycle and delivers her to the Citadel, where it is revealed that the news report was a ruse to draw her out, Harry Hokum's grand plan. With her now in custody, they can torture her for information that she has, especially how to bring down Euphorix's planetary shield. Kalista's imminent death at the hands of her captors is the last panel of issue #3, and Lobo does not appear again until well later in the run. And that was a very unceremonious beginning to a character that was retconned in the late 90s and again in the early 2000s to become the main man of the DC universe. Someone who can go toe-to-toe with Superman, and someone who's become the anti-hero for DC fans worldwide. So, if you want to read through the first few issues of the Omega Men run from 1983, be my guest. But you just learned the only real important thing to come out of that series, and hopefully I've saved you some time. And that's what I think. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Are you a Lobo fan? Did you like his first appearance and his outfit? And what retcon character do you think was better after being changed instead of being left to the original? Thank you for watching. As always, I'm your reluctant gringo from south of the border. Salute and a huevo.